Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Mama Christine's podcast, Living Life Through Experience. We are on season 2, and this is episode 2. It's still very early in the year. We're only, second full week into January. So how's everybody doing, right? We've all created these goals and these dreams for the new year. We have set intentions, we've manifested, we have made resolutions, so how's it going, And I think that's a little bit of what I want to talk about today is kind of an extension of last week where we talked about, finishing our year off and, getting into the next phase of this year and the manifesting and all those things. And, and so it's like I've talked about before when people make, New Year's resolutions, they have a list, yay long, and it's like, I'm going to do this, 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 and this, and this. And sometimes by this time, people have already quit. I've screwed it up. I'm done. Not doing it. Whatever. Forget next year. Whatever. I'm here to tell you, stay motivated. Stay determined. Don't give up so quickly. Just because you had a bad moment or a bad day or whatever, even a bad week, it doesn't mean it's over. You can start over at any given moment. It doesn't have to be a new year. It doesn't have to be a new month or a new week or whatever. It's when you make the choice to do it, and that's the big thing is remembering that everything we do is our choice. So you can say everything you want to say, but until you actually choose to do this, whatever that is, nothing changes. Right? So it's like, I'll be open and honest with all of you. I mean, years ago, I was a smoker, as many of us were back in the 80s and 90s and whatnot. And luckily, as time has gone by, that's really changed a lot. And I quit a long time ago. But at the same time, it's like, I kept saying, I want to quit, I want to quit, I want to quit. And it was something like I consciously knew I needed to do, but subconsciously was not ready to do it. And, this is where, the want, the need, the choice comes in. And it's like, well, I should quit. I want to quit. But I knew I wasn't full on ready to quit. And I think I tried, 5 times. And it's like, no. Because I knew I wasn't ready. But I was trying to do it because I knew it was the best thing to do. But at the same time, it's like, years ago, I used to do hypnosis for people. And of course, one of the things everybody comes in for is smoking. And I had a mother and daughter come in, and they both smoked. And the daughter was young. And I remember doing the session with each one individually, and the daughter quit instantly. The mom, not so much. She only came and did it with her daughter so her daughter would do it. And the daughter wanted to quit, but the mom didn't. And I would tell people that all the time, I want to make an appointment for my husband or my wife to come in and, do the hypnosis to quit smoking. And it's like, okay, that's fine. I says, but are they ready to do it? Oh, probably not, but I figure this will help. Not always, not always, You have to want something because, believe it or not, your wants are way stronger than what everybody else thinks you need. So even though everybody else thinks you need to quit smoking, if you still want to smoke and you think it's a good thing for you and whatnot, then you're probably not going to quit. So, wants and needs are two different things. Even in manifesting, I always tell people, and of course many of you I'm sure followed along with the manifesting thing. You can manifest, I hope this goes this way, because I think that that's the best thing for me. And only to find out it doesn't happen. And then you realize oh my God, I'm so glad that didn't happen because look where I am now. And if that had happened, I wouldn't be where I'm at. So, it's wants, it's needs, it's choices, and I know it sounds like, what? I'm so confused. But, it's back to the New Year's resolutions, asking you guys where you're at with all that. it's remembering that, even if you want to do something, but you're not completely ready, just keep working towards it until you make it happen. So that's the biggest outcome of all of that. Because at one point I was like, okay, this is it. I'm done. I knew I had worked through a lot of things in my life, and that's where a lot of things get stuck, is in here somewhere, right? And smoking being one of the things that I used to do, I can tell you that if you were angry, you smoked because it helped you to calm down. You did it socially because everybody else did it. You did it because, you had something to eat, or you had a drink, or you had a coffee, and, whatever, and you're smoking. And it's like, it became such a habit over the years that you didn't know how to do those things without smoking. So, until I was ready, and that's what had happened, I did a lot of internal work. I really had been working, here at Sisters for quite some time already, but it was like, it's one of those things, if you're going to walk the walk, talk the talk, and all those things. And it was like, no, I need to do this for myself. I'm ready. I've worked on myself. I have let go of the things in my life that were holding me back, that were keeping me suppressed. And I said, no, I'm done. And I don't need this thing to help me get through my day. I can do it on my own. Because that thing is just a nasty tool, actually. But we think it's a tool to get us through what we're going through. And really, only we can make us get through what we're going through. Those outside sources don't. You know what I mean? So again, it was a choice, and I made the choice. So I want to pick a card. Speaking of choices, let's see. Here we go. Inner wisdom. Inner wisdom. You know what to do. Trust your inner wisdom and take appropriate action without delay. And, again, that's exactly on point. When it comes to making choices, you know what you need to do. And the choice is the only thing you have to do is make the choice. Good, bad, or otherwise. Just make a choice. Like, do I go left or do I go right? And it's like, I'll just sit in the middle. It's like, no, you can't just sit in the middle. You got to pick a side, left or right. You know what I mean? Are you going to go after that new job, or are you going to stay where you are? Are you going to let go of this relationship because it's no longer working for you? Or are you going to stick with it and try to make it work? There's always a side, Is it fear or is it love? And in all reality, and I think I've talked about this before, is everything that you go through with either love or fear. And every emotion you feel goes back to one or the other. So if you're in a relationship and it's not going well, you have to make a choice. And that choice is either stay or go. Now, if it's a bad relationship and you decide to stay, you're staying out of fear. Why? Maybe because you don't want to be alone. Or maybe you're afraid of the repercussions. Or you're afraid that you won't be able to make it by yourself. Or people might talk. Or people will be angry with you. Or, all those things. Or you make the choice to leave. Because you know deep in your heart that it's not a good thing for you. So you make the choice to leave. That's love. That means you're doing something for yourself that needs to be done, and you're doing it with love. So no matter what, everything is love or fear. So keep that in mind. Again, inner wisdom, we always know what to do. You're like, I know people that I've talked with, people that, like-minded with, the holistic approach, yoga, all these different things. And it's like, I feel it in my heart that, one, in my mind, all these ideas pop in, and it's like, I could do this and I could do that because I really want to expand my business, or I want to attract more clients, or I want to learn new things that I can bring to my clients, whatever it may be. And it's like all these things come up, but you feel it in your heart. Now, if you're somebody who is like, I don't know, maybe things are just quiet and not going so good, right away you're already thinking like, well, maybe what I'm doing isn't the right thing. Maybe I should be doing something else. Maybe I should be doing this. Now it's the fear that you're not doing the right thing and that the money's going to run out. And you know what? In business, like in life, things go like this. Then they go down, then they come up, then they go up, and they come down. And that's just how it goes. We are going to be celebrating 20 years in business on March 1st. 20 years. Like, I cannot believe 20 years has gone by. And the people that I have met and the friends I have made, and it's just crazy. But I had those times during our 20 years where everything seemed to be going, oh, here we go. Now what? Now what? Now what? And I was like, okay, we're good. And it's like, oh my gosh. It's just how it goes. If you live in fear, then guess what? It's going to go, and it's going to go, and it's going to go, and it's going to tank because you're living in fear. Now, if you're like, okay, well, yeah, it's a slow month, but that's okay because it has its ebb and flows. I'm going with the flow of things, and all of a sudden, oh yeah, see, it's back again. And it's like, okay, and it levels out, and then you just kind of go with it. I say, let go and allow. Let go meaning don't stay so attached to it with worry and fear. Just allow things to unfold. And by all means, if things are done and they're not going to work for you anymore, you're going to know. You're going to have that full-on sense of, yeah, I don't think this is meant for me anymore. I think it's time to close the chapter on this book. You'll know. So stop with the worry, stop with the fear, live in love, right? Let go and allow. All right. That is what's going to get you through a lot of things. So yeah, trust your inner wisdom, trust your intuition. That's really what it is. Those thoughts and ideas that pop in out of nowhere in here, that's your people. When you feel things or sense things like, oh, this feels really good, you know what I mean? Or you ever walk into a place and you're like, oh, I don't like the way it feels in here. Something's off. Your body knows, your consciousness knows. So trust that. Trust it, okay? All right, so again, back to choices, okay? Of course, like I said, inner wisdom, we always know what we're supposed to do. But everything is a choice, and a lot of people are like, I didn't choose that. Okay. I get that. Did you choose to come to this earth and have a disease? Did you choose to come to this earth and deal with divorce or abuse or who knows, any of those awful things? Yeah, you did. My understanding and my belief system is that we all come to this earth with a plan. We come here to learn, to expand our consciousness, to teach our souls more and more about life, more and more about love, more and more about everything. So yes, I believe we pick when we're going to come here. We pick what our birth date is going to be. We pick who our parents are going to be, our siblings, so on and so forth. We pick, it's like a menu. I'll deal with this and I'll deal with that and give me some of that and some of that and I'll be sick with that. And, what is my lesson to learn here? I don't think it's a coincidence, and there's no such thing, of course, as coincidences. Everything happens for a reason. But I don't think it's a coincidence that you're born under a specific sign on a specific day at a specific time during a specific, star alignments in the sky and all that. There's a reason for all of that, And I'm sorry, but since the dawn of time, there's always been people like me who explain to you what it means, what the stars mean, what astrology means in your birthday and all those things. Because, how many times do you read up on, like for myself, for example, I'm a Virgo, and you read what a Virgo's traits are, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's me, right? Right on point. And because I am born on the day before Libra, then I look up Libra and I even have traits of that as well, So it's like there's no mistaking all of this craziness. So yes, do you have a choice? Of course you do. Do you come here with choices of what you want to experience? Of course you do. Now, as far as living your life, choices happen all the time. Maybe your mom gave you a choice, when you were little. Do you want a cookie or would you like a cracker? It's up to you to choose, but just like, and I've seen my stepdaughter do this. It's like when her kids are really small, it's like, all right, which toy do you want? Oh, I want the truck. Okay. And what toy do you want? Oh, well, I want the truck. Well, this one has the truck, so you'll have to pick something else. And, it's the fight over who gets the truck, but it's just make a choice and understand that if your choice doesn't work, there's always other choices, right? So yes, the other one could have picked a car or maybe a basketball or whatever it may be, but there's always choices, and we're making choices for as soon as we're offered choices in this world. And, when life comes up, you choose where you're going to work. You choose who you're going to date, who you're going to marry. You choose to, oh my God, make an obligation to people that you don't want to. You choose to say yes when you really meant no. You choose to go to something you really didn't want to go to so you wouldn't upset everybody else. All of these different things, your choices are yours. And when people say that's on you, it truly is, because that's the choice we've made. So understand that, really think about it. When something goes off with you, think, was that my choice? Well, more than likely it was. I'm truly trying to think of something that could come up that's not your choice, other than something violent, obviously. But, and even violence, I'm talking about being in a relationship where maybe the other person is a violent person, and, maybe they're emotionally abusing you, sexually abusing you, physically abusing you. You still have a choice in that point. They may have done that to you and that was their choice, but now your choice is to walk or stay. And I know for some people it's very hard. It feels very hard. It feels like you don't know what to do. But again, you do have a choice. And even everybody will say, oh, I have nowhere to go. I have nowhere. You know what? There are shelters. Where there's a will, there's a way. And if you want out, you'll make it happen. Let go of the damn fear and move on. Okay? And I know you'll make the right choice when you're ready to make the right choice. So again, choices. I always say make choices based on how they feel to you. So let's take a job, for instance. It could be your own business. It could be, whatever you do. Even if you're an independent contractor. Like I know people who do yoga and they go to different studios. But pick and choose what works for you. Some people say, oh, well, I can make more money there. I'm like, yeah, that's great and all, but do you like the space? Sometimes the space doesn't feel good. Sometimes you don't vibe with the people. Everybody's got a different energy. Don't just go running to one space because they're going to pay you, 1.5 times what the other place is paying you. Again, I always say it's never about the money. It's about what makes you happy. And what I do, Sisters of Solace, 20 years in, I can say I have loved every minute of it. I really, really have. Has the money always been super fabulous? No. But the money's always been there. We've always made enough money to pay ourselves. I've always had what I needed, so on and so forth. It's not the type of business I think that is going to make you mega rich, but rich enough. What is your definition of rich, right? I could say, oh, I can make X amount of dollars a week and be rich. And other people are like, oh, I don't feel rich until I have millions. I'm just like, okay. But you know what? I really don't care about it because I love what I do. I honestly can say without hesitation that every morning when I wake up, I am happy to get up, have my coffee, take care of my dog, take care of my cats, get ready and go to work. Because again, it doesn't feel like work. It really doesn't. It feels like I'm fulfilling my purpose. I am doing what makes me happy, and helping others makes me happy. So it just works. So never go after something just because of money. I know money's important. It is. And so are benefits and insurances and all those things. And I've met so many people that are like, oh my God, I make so much money and have such great benefits where I'm at, but I can't stand it anymore. I'm like, it's not about the money and it's not about the benefits. Move on if this isn't fulfilling your needs anymore. Yeah, but then I got to start at the bottom and then I have to, I'm like, so think of it this way. Change your perception. Would you rather stay in this job that you can't stand anymore for another, say, how many more years do you retire? 20, 30? Do you want to feel like this every day? Or do you want to just move on, start over, which won't last long, right? You'll get moved up the ladder, whatever, you get your time in, whatever you want to call it, and you'll be happy. You'll truly be happy. You know, I've met people who were, oh my God, up here, up at the top, doing what they thought they loved, only to find out they hated it. And it ended up coming down to the blue collar worker level, but doing something they actually loved and enjoyed and didn't mind going to work every day. You know? So, you know, it's not about the money. It should never be about the money. Money is a part of it, but it's not it. Not all of it. It all starts here. You know, you got to be happy with what you're doing. So again, it's choices. Do you choose all the money or do you choose what makes you happy? Because if you're just going after the money, you're going to be miserable doing what you're doing, or miserable at the place that you're at, or whatever, just because you want to make money. And I get it. We all want to make money. But again, this is where your spiritual stuff comes in. I trust and believe that I will be working at a place that I will love. I will love my team members. We'll have partnerships. We will work together. I will make all the money I need plus more. I will have everything I need. I will have my benefits. I will enjoy going to work. I will fulfill my purpose, whatever, okay? Because even if you don't know what that new thing is, it doesn't matter. If you put out everything that you want with it, the universe will help you find it, whatever it may be. So again, it's choices. Don't stay in relationships that aren't good for you. Don't stay in jobs that are not good for you. You know, I know you can't quit your job and then go look for a new one, but start looking for a new one. You know, what's the big deal? Just start looking. You know, we have the internet today. It's not like you got to go from door to door and fill out applications. My God. You know, it's like click, 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 and boom, you just sent out your resume to 20 different places. You know, even if they're not posting jobs, send one anyway, because you never know what can happen. You never know. So don't sit somewhere where you don't want to be. Don't be in a relationship that you don't want to be in. Don't hold on to friends who don't hold on to you. You know, think about it. I mean, I know so many people, like, their friends only call them when they need something. Or, you know, it's always me, and you go along for the ride. And it's like, yeah, no, that doesn't sound right either. Friendships are like romantic relationships. You got to have 100% on both sides. You know, does one person kind of fall a little bit and you pick up the slack? Sure, but it happens vice versa as well. You know, everybody goes through things. So if you have a friend that every once in a while is going through something, great. But if you have that friend that it's constant drama, constant bitch and moan, and like nothing ever goes right, and they don't call you, and it's like, oh my word, what is going on? You know, it's like, I love you, but maybe we need a boundary. I don't know. People have to change. But people are, again, only going to change when they're ready to change and when they see they need to change. You know, so sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But people come and go, and it's unfortunate when they go. But it is what it is. So again, it's all about choices. So whether it's your New Year's resolutions that you have chosen to hold on to or chosen to let go of, again, it's on you. You know, can you change it again? Of course you can. You can change your mind every minute of the day. Remember that. You know, so if you're working towards something and it fell apart and you threw it to the side and said, screw it, you can turn around tomorrow and say, you know what? No, not screw it. I'm going to pick it back up and I'm going to start over. Because again, I go back to, oh my God, childhood for everybody. You know, as a baby, you learn to roll over by the time you're 4 months, and you keep doing it until you do it. And then by 6 months, you learn to sit up, you know, and if you fall over, you try to sit up again. And then by 8-9 months, you're pulling up on furniture, trying to stand. And then, you know, heading towards that year mark, it's like, now it's like, I'm standing, I'm going to try to walk. And you fall 1,000,000 times and get up 1,000,000 more. Why are we so determined in that part of our lives to do all that? And now, as adults, where we can do anything we want, we choose not to do things because it's too hard, or I'm too lazy, or what is someone going to say, or Or what if it's not the right thing? Oh my goodness, it's crazy. When we're children, young children, infant, toddler, child, okay? You haven't told anybody, nobody has told you yet that you can't do it. So you push, right? And you're very determined, and you're going to push and push until you accomplish whatever it is, whether it's rolling over, sitting up, standing, or walking, it doesn't matter. Now you get a little older, people start saying things, belief systems start getting put into your head, and all you need is that one comment that says, you can't do that. And then you start second guessing everything. But again, that is your choice. Do we know any better at that moment as a young child? Probably not. Because again, we trust the people around us, and this is where our belief systems start developing. So if you're one of those people that you had somebody say that to you when you were young, like you can't do that, you can't do this, you can't do anything, and you still believe that today, now that's on you. People, everybody needs to learn that they can do anything that they put their mind to. And we all know this. How deep-seated is that belief system in you? The one that says you can't do something. For some people, it's super deep. So maybe consciously, they're like, yeah, I know I can do that. But yet, I really don't feel like I can do that. This is something you need to work on. You need to work on your belief systems. You need to work on shifting your belief systems from I can't to I can, and I will, and I am. You know what I mean? And of course, I will is one of those things that almost sounds more futuristic than present moment. So I am moving forward. I am changing. I am doing what I love. I am whatever it is, okay? If something doesn't feel right to you, like maybe you learned X, Y, and Z about yourself when you were a kid because that's what people told you, but yet today you don't feel like that. Like, no, that doesn't feel like me. Why does this not feel right for me? Because you're trying to take over the belief system. You're trying to implement your belief system over theirs. But it's sometimes it's a little bit of a battle. But again, you're making a choice. Some people will notice that right away. 'Cause I've been that like that my whole life, I swear to God. I always called myself the odd one because what everybody else did, I'm like, that doesn't make sense to me. And probably did not for me. I really don't think it did. And, it didn't matter what it was. Whether it was belief systems about life or politics or religion or any of those. Like, no, that doesn't feel right to me. Like, no, no. Did I have a lot of personal things like, like say going through school and whatnot that, I was ugly, I was fat, I was this, I was that. Oh yeah, all that stuff hurt. It did. Relationships, if somebody broke up with me or I broke up with them, I always felt that it wasn't, I didn't do enough or I wasn't good enough or what else can I do to make you love me kind of thing. And it's like, of course, you're young, you don't understand that stuff yet, really. But everything is a choice. You go from then to now and it's like, yeah, wow. I definitely see life way different. I know everything is a choice that I make. I know when I make excuses for something or someone and I go, oh, there I go again. And I have to shift it. I think that's just the human experience of knowing that, oh, I made a boo-boo, hold on. I am very happy with my life. I am very happy with having minimal things in my life. It was just funny because around Christmas time, I actually bought myself a wooden spiral calendar, I'll call it. It's like 3 round circles, small, medium, large. And it has the months of the year and it has the day of the week and then the date. So all you do is you spin the wheel to the month, the day, and the year. Month, day of the week. And I'm like, that is really cool. And I'm like, I think I'm going to get it. But of course, because I'm not one of those people that really get into a lot of knickknacks, I don't like that. It's just stuff. I mean, it's like I have a few angel statues, but that's it. It's like a handful. It's not like all over my house. And as much as I like them, I'm like, what's it going to do for me? I already have some, so I don't need them. You know what I mean? So this thing, it's like, I have a paper calendar. Why do I need that? But it was just one of those novelty things that it just kind of intrigued me. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to splurge. And I made a choice to splurge on myself and get something that I thought was really cool versus sitting there going, do I really need that? Probably not. But you know what? I really liked it. And that's okay. So yeah, I mean, make choices in life and do what is best for you, you know? I find that people, you know, I talk about the novelty thing and whatnot. I find that people who buy a lot of things and buy and buy and buy and buy and buy and buy, it's like, how much stuff can you use? I think it's because they're looking to fulfill something in their lives that they're missing. You know, and maybe I'm totally off. I don't know. But again, maybe because I'm a minimalist now, it's like, I like, why do you need all that? You know, why do you need 50 pairs of shoes? Or why do you need, 125 figurines or whatever, you know? I mean, I would say the only thing that I have a lot of right now are plants. I love plants. I love propagating plants. I love watering them, trimming them, doing all these things, but I also like sharing them as well. So a lot of times, if you've been to Here to Sisters, you'll see in the front as you come in a bunch of plants, and if it has a stick in it, you can take it home. I don't charge for them. I just take it away. But yeah, I do have about 130 plants, but to me, they're living things. They don't eat a lot, right? It's not like having 100 cats. They have a purpose. They give oxygen. They purify the air. And they make me happy, you know? So I do like my plants. But I mean, as far as stuff, just stuff, it's like, I really look at it like, why do you need all that stuff? What are you trying to fulfill within yourself to keep buying more stuff? Because some people do, they go shopping. And I know I was one of those people like, oh my God, I went shopping, look at this. I'm like so excited. And then all of a sudden the excitement wears off. And then next week you're out shopping again because you want to be excited. And we don't always look at it that way. But that was a choice I made to do that instead of working on myself. And now that I have done a lot of work on myself, and, you know, like I said, working on yourself is like a lifelong project, which it is. You know, think to yourself, like, why do I do that? Look at some of your own personal habits and wonder why. Why do we do these things? You know, why do we overshop? Why do we need the excessive need to do things all the time? What's with the excessive need of like, I think sometimes for some people anyway, it's kind of like this drug. It's like, oh, I want this. I want to do this. Oh my God. And they go 150% into doing that. And then before you know it, it's like, oh, this excites me. I'm going to do that. So then they get rid of all the other stuff and do this. And then it's like, oh my God, look at that. You know, it's like, oh my goodness. So it's like always the need to be excited about something. And I think it's just because sometimes people just aren't excited about life in general. So they look for things that make them excited. And again, that's their choice. It has no bearing on me or anybody else. So it is what it is. But I think everybody just needs to see that for themselves. So if you find that you do that occasionally, why are you doing that? What's going on with you? You know, what choices are you making? What are you accepting or not accepting, or, you know, whatnot? So why, you know, yeah, a treat every now and then is not a big deal. But when it's like the constant, it's like, what is going on? Think about the choices you're making and think about why you're making the choices. You know, I always say, you know, manifesting. Ask for whatever you need. Ask God, the angels, powers that be. I want to manifest X amount of dollars. Okay, well, you know what? Maybe you should ask for that and tell them why you want it. Because are we just living in fear? We just need more money because what if I don't have any? So I'm going to just keep asking for it. Or you know what, maybe I need $500 because I want to go away for the weekend. You know, I haven't gone away in a long time. I want to go away for the weekend. I would really love to have an extra $500. So I can stay somewhere overnight, maybe do a little shopping, grab a bite to eat, and just enjoy and get away for a little bit. And, I'm very grateful if that happens, because this way I'll be able to have a nice experience, right? It's always ask, reason, and gratitude. That's kind of how I look at it. So don't just ask for things for asking me things. Like, it's like you're being a kid and going up to your parents and going, can I have $10? For what? Because I just want $10. I'm going to the mall. Okay, so what are you going to do with the $10? I don't know. Right? It's like you just want it because you want it. There's no reason behind it. And, having the gratitude is a big part of that. And I think teaching young people that is a good thing. Remember your please, remember your thank you. Have gratitude for what you do have. Stop bitching about what you don't have, And that's the same thing too. We make choices. It's like, okay, do you choose to be grateful or do you choose to bitch about what you don't have? And it's so true. I see it all the time. People will just go off on a triad of nastiness because they're complaining about this and complaining about that, and I don't have this and I don't have that, and why does this one have something? Why does that one have it? Why can't I? What's going on? It's like, instead of complaining, maybe you should just try being grateful. Yeah, maybe you don't have that or that, but you know what? I'm grateful I have this, and I'm grateful I have this. I'm grateful I woke up this morning. I'm grateful I'm breathing. I'm grateful I have a roof over my head. I'm grateful I have heat in this cold winter day, right? I'm grateful I have this bed to sleep in, the blankets to keep me warm, my clothing, right? I'm grateful I have a job. I'm making money. I have food in my fridge, right? Keep going. Again, people just, don't always think in that direction. They make a choice to just complain. And it's like, stop complaining. Make good choices. Do what is best for you. Create boundaries when you need to. And again, boundaries is another one, especially when it comes to family. People are tough. It's like, make a boundary. I love you, but no. Yeah, but like if it's not me, then nobody does anything. And I'm like, that's not your fault. You can't kill yourself to take care of everybody else. You're not going to be any good to anyone else if you run yourself ragged. So sometimes it's no. You have that one person who's like, hey, let me borrow money. Hey, give me $10. Hey, let me, hey. No. What do you mean no? No. You need money? Go get a job. You have a job? Go get a second job. Watch what you're spending your money on. I'm done giving you money. Right? Make a choice. And if that person gets mad, that's on them. That's not on you. You do what's best for you, and then it's up to them to figure it out for themselves. Truly is. So yeah, make your good choices. Yeah, and I know we're all going to make bad choices. We're human beings. It happens. But realize that when you make a bad choice, learn from that lesson so that next time you don't do it again. Relationships are a big one on that. Out of one negative relationship, right into another one. And it's like, did you not learn from the last one? Like, what's going on? So learn from your mistakes. Live in love, not in fear. Keep your energy up. Keep it positive. Do things that bring your energy up. So, laughter is a good thing. Laughter is great medicine, they say. It's true. Laughter, happiness, joy, doing what makes you happy, doing what fulfills your purpose, doing what makes your heart sing, creating boundaries. Oh my God. And just do things that make you laugh and raise that energy, raise the bar. Ever sit there and just, of course, everybody does it, right? Just scrolls through their phones, looking at stupid videos. Could be, baby videos, dog videos, cat videos, whatever it is. And it's just like, they're hysterical sometimes. They really are. But you know what's happening? You're laughing. And when you're laughing, you're raising your energy. And that helps you to feel and see things in a different light, right? Raise the energy. Change your perceptions. Do what's best for you. Truly, do what's best for you. But let's finish this with a card based on choices. Here we go. There we go. Be strong. Be strong. You're stronger than you think you are. Your strength assures a happy outcome. And strength is about making right choices. When you're strong, you make good choices. When you feel weak and less than, you don't always make great choices. And that's because just our minds and our hearts are not in it, So again, negative attracts negative, positive attracts positive. So if you're going to be in that lower energy of negativity, then you're going to attract that. So work on self, get out of that, be strong, move forward, and make good choices. So hopefully your resolutions are still going well. And if they're not, just start over, right? I wish you well for this week. Let's see. Next week, I'll be back on Thursday again with episode 3. What we talk about, who knows? It all depends on the cards. I always let spirit decide, what we're going to talk about. So then that's what I go with. So anyway, glad you joined me this evening. Again, lots of things are all about choices. Think about that. What choices are you making and why? How does it make you feel? Is it based on your belief system, or is it based on fear? Is it based on love? Right? All these different things. If you're fulfilling your needs by overcompensating with shopping or any of these other things that you could be doing, why do you do that? I mean, even if you enjoy it though, why do we feel the need to overdo? What's going on here? So just some things to think about. So I'm going to say that's it, because I can ramble and I don't want to ramble. But thank you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing the videos, even the videos I do daily. For those of you who have been sharing them, thank you so much. Because if it can help somebody else, that's my main focus. It really, really is. So until next week, I'm going to let you go. Have a great evening. Enjoy yourselves, and I will talk to you all next week. Take care.